Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. When we get back to another live stream with Amber. I do have to apologize, I did miscalculate. I thought there was 4 more. Turns out there's actually 5 more live streams. I totally forgot about this one that I'm currently doing. So we're going to be getting into this video, and then do the 3-part next week, Tuesday, and then hopefully finish off another one on Thursday. Then I will try to do some foodie content. I do apologize for the foodie viewers. There's just so much of Amber right now, so we'll go through it the best we can and then move on to some foodie stuff. So let's get into it and see what Amber is going to be talking about today.
I personally do not and will not be watching per se, like listening with my fucking ears. Snowflake's video, he triggers me, he gives me anxiety. He is an apologist. He has made tons of people believe that a 12-year-old lies about SA. So not dealing with that.
Alright, starting the video off strong, I see. First of all, he did not call a 12-year-old a liar. He called a grown adult, you, a liar. And the reason why is because your story had changed. And then on top of that, you try to argue about your story changing. And then later in the future, you came out with an accusation about your ex-partner trying to SA you, trying to R-word you. And then in the future, you said, actually, no, Casey didn't do that. I used the wrong word, which throws doubt towards all accusations you've made in the past. And as for not listening to Mr. Snowflake, I feel like there would be more information and key details that you are purposely trying to miss in order to manipulate your audience into believing you.
I strongly dislike him. So what I asked my friend on Snapchat, I was like, can you go to his video and just screenshot all of the things that Emily said? And when she sent them to me, they were all out of order. It just didn't seem like it made sense. I don't know.
That's exactly my point. How are you going to try rebuttaling an argument when you only have bits and pieces of said argument? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you are only going in half-cocked in an attempt to try and manipulate the people who aren't going to go watch his video.
So, unfortunately, what I have to do is click the video, and I have it on mute. I don't want to listen to it. I'm going to respond to what she said. And I'm nervous because Emily messaged me last night, and we've been arguing through text messages. And it's been just this vicious cycle of what it's been this whole time, of her saying one thing, me saying another, her saying one thing, me remembering another, her saying one thing, me experiencing another. And I feel like I'm going actually genuinely crazy right now. I genuinely feel insane. I forgot to get my AirPods. Fuck it.
Then block her. Like, you have no problem doing it with everyone else. Why not do it with her too? Like, you do it on Instagram, TikTok, on YouTube all the time. Why not block her too? And honestly, Amber, I would have to say you enjoy it. And it's weird to me because I grew up with a lot of extended family like Amber and her family. And the first thing that I did when I was old enough to make the choice was immediately cut them off. I have not talked to aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, so many different people for over half my life because I did not want to be around that shit. I still don't. I don't know why you want to deal with it on a daily basis. It's weird as hell to me.
And I don't know how the same reaction channel, actually all of the reaction channels, who once thought my ex was all of these horrendous things, like, have now, like, switched the script, and Emily is, like, a saint, and we need to, like, interview her. You know what? I want to be interviewed. Like, when is it my fucking turn? But no, none of these reaction channels want to put it in a light of, you know what? Amberlynn has done some fucking shitty things, but maybe for the first fucking time, she might actually be slightly a victim here. But no one wants to see it that way. When they once did. They once were trying to get me away from the feeder. But now it's like the roles are reversed. Flip the script. Flip the script. Yes, Bug Love. 100%.
OMG, Amber, you are so right. It's almost as if context can change people's perspective of a certain situation, and sometimes people who have may been abusive in the past can be a victim, in the same way that victims can also become abusers. Wild concept, I know.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I regret not doing this with the whole Beck thing, but it's my turn to respond to exactly what Emily said. And I'm scared in the sense of like she has been threatening me. She's doing this whole dance of, if you shut up, I'll shut up. My thing is, did I get more sleep? Only 2 hours. I feel like I'm literally unhinged. My whole thing is, for 8 months of the time that we were in a relationship, I know you're watching, hi. You were literally online publicly humiliating me and hurting me while we were in a relationship. You were doing it anonymously, but also with your name. So hardcore that people were actually truly believing we weren't together. And I had to keep my mouth shut. Why? Because one, I literally loved you. I did not want to hurt you. I did not want to start a war with you. You were my girlfriend. We were in a relationship, a committed, loyal relationship. And then finally, when I said, oh, her going to Snowflake is actually the last straw, which is normally something that I would forgive and forget, and I wouldn't say a fucking word. I finally said, this is my last straw. You're threatening me? I need everyone to make it make sense because I can't. I truly can't. Okay.
And this just really proves that it's not about, sharing her story. It's about getting back at her. Like, it's a way of her using her audience as a weapon to destroy Emily. And it's the same thing with Emily weaponizing the communities against Amber. They both want to hurt each other and try to destroy each other, tear each other down, so that way they're both perceived as terrible people. Which, congratulations, you're both doing a pretty good job.
You did lie at 12. You told mom it was dad's friends. No, I fucking didn't, Jawbone. Thank you for your money. I wish my mom was fucking here to throw it in your face that is not fucking true. Thank you and goodbye. 2 separate situations. Thank you.
I am just going to speak on this one last time because I am so sick of hearing it. I'm genuinely repulsed about Amber using this as a gotcha. First of all, Amber said that she was SA'd as a child by her cousin. And then in the future, she said that at the age of 14, not 12, Amber, 14, which you would think as someone who is so aggressively staunched on her position about being sexually harassed, you would think you would understand the difference between a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old, but here we are. You said that you were touched by your father's friends in a sexual manner without consent. You then later changed that and said, actually, no, I was not touched. I was harassed verbally in a sexual manner. So you lied about both things. 1, your age, and 2, the physical touching, which actually did not happen. It was harassment. Now, if you were SA'd as a child, you would know the difference between harassment and assault. Just plain and simple. I have never met a person who has gone through that as a child and has confused the two in future situations. It has just never happened. You have later then gone on to say that Casey R-worded you. And then in the future, actually, even though I falsely accused him of a crime and said exactly what he supposedly did, he didn't actually do that. He did another word. So how do you, again, misinterpret that in the wrong context or the wrong meaning? As someone who's gone through this 3 separate times, you would think you would understand the difference between SA, SH, and full-blown R-word. How do you expect us to believe you when you don't even know what the terms are and how they're not interchangeable with one another?
The brows, you're so fucking insane. It's actually crazy. Let's say she did all that. Okay, that doesn't change what you did. My whole thing is why is it always Amberlynn? Why is it always Amberlynn that's in the fault? Always Amberlynn. You know what's funny? One thing that I know to be true is that Emily was held at gunpoint. I do know that to be true. It's literally in court documents. That's not a lie. That's something that did happen. And when it happened, I stuck by her side. I made a whole video. I wrote a whole fucking thing and read it in a YouTube video. And I stuck up for her through and through because you want to know why? the haters and the girl world of it all and the reaction channels were saying that it was Emily's fault that that happened to her. Gunpoint, bro. Like, I'm probably not even gonna get monetized for this video because it's fucking so crazy and off the fucking chain. Somehow, when I was in love with Emily and in a relationship and in Wisconsin and people thought I was like so happy, whatever, it was Emily's fault that that happened? Okay. 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 But now, Amberlynn does reactive abuse to like literally some crazy shit. And all of a sudden, oh, poor Emily. It's not making sense to me. And I'm going insane. I'm genuinely going insane.
I can't speak for every reaction channel, but for myself and the ones that I do watch, I have not seen that. In fact, I've seen them argue the opposite, that they don't agree with holding someone up with a weapon with the intent of harming them. Like, the only way that it would be justifiable, and not positive, Amber, justifiable, which is different, is self-defense. If you believe that your life is in danger and you're worried about potentially losing your life, that is the only time that it is justifiable to use a weapon on another human being. But that is only as a last resort.
You guys are literally witnessing it firsthand, a bitch going insane. And this is what I had to deal with. It's like, holy fuck. I'm very sorry for your situation. I wish you a lot of strength. I really hope you see you're worthy. Please, nobody deserves this. Great that you have your family supporting you. A big hug and love. Thank you so much. You've always been so sweet, and I appreciate it. Deborah, welcome to Stream Queens Mini. Can I ask you some questions? Baby girl, go for it. Ask it up. No one has a right to downplay a person's trauma. Thank you, Stacy. Show us her threats. I'm not going to show you our text messages, but I can read them to you. Or once again, you're lying. Fuck off, Spooky. Thank you for the money.
Exactly. I'm not going to show you the evidence, but I will read it out as if the narrator is someone who can be believed. I'm not going to show you physical evidence, but I will tell you what the physical evidence says. Sure you will.
I would never want to be in a relationship with you. Like, genuinely and wholeheartedly, like, you guys are sick. If roles were reversed and I was making fun of my partner behind their back, you guys would be like, you're an abuser, you're horrible, you're the worst girlfriend ever, you're this or that. And you know what's funny? Let's go back to the Beck situation right quick. So many people were like, oh my God, Amberlynn was an abuser. Why did, like, I can't believe it, like, da-da-da. But no one ever, like, sits there and goes, why did Beck stay? Like, it's Beck's fault. No one ever does that. They have all this, like, sympathy for Beck. But yet, I was in a relationship where I stayed in Wisconsin for 3 months where I felt genuinely miserable. And everyone's like, it's your fault. It's like, I have never felt more fucking crazy in my life. Ever.
Because they're two different situations. You have the ability to financially support yourself at that point in time. You had the ability to go stay at a hotel, a motel, or some location where it's pet friendly, so that way you and your animals could be together. You chose to stay in said relationship. You even said that Mama Lynn would come and pick you up, but you chose to stay. Like, you had the ability to leave at any given point in time. Beck was financially reliant on you for the majority of the relationship. And even after, when they got money, you stopped them from even accessing the money. You gave them no resources in order to leave because you made them financially reliant on you, and then you took the money that you owed them away. Those are two very different situations, Amber.
Receipts are lying, of course. Fuck off. Thank you for the money. You have a history of being abusive, though. You guys have a history of just hearing, like, hearsay. So think about that for a second. I was never abusive. Like, I've genuinely explained this so many times. So it's like, why am I going to get into it again? Genuinely, truly. And you know who else has a history of being abusive? Emily. Whoa. Fucking crazy, isn't it?
I do agree with Amber when she says there are some stories out there that only have a hearsay narrative. There is no evidence to provide whether or not Amber is telling the truth. The reason why most people often believe that, Amber, is because you have a documented history and pattern of behavior for almost 12 years on the internet. And on top of that, the stuff that is behind closed doors is often proven with evidence that that is in fact what happened. So when you form a pattern of behavior and then people come out with stories that have key details, that have context to the situation that makes it sound like it is true, people are more likely to believe it. People are less likely to believe you, however, because you have gone on record for lying countless times. Even in your videos where you take accountability, like even in these live streams where you try to take accountability for the things that you do, you still justify it with BPD or your mental health or the things that you did by lying, fully admitting that you're lying by, I have done it to protect other people. The intent doesn't matter because when you exaggerate, when you lie, when you're an unbelievable narrator, people can't believe you. So you have only ruined your own credibility, and you can't cry that people believe other people because they have, one, shown evidence for different stories, and two, don't exaggerate key details in order to make you sound worse. Like, that is your own fault that people believe Beck, or believe Destiny, or believe Casey, even if they don't show evidence for 100% of the things that they say.
Nobody is switching up and saying that they love her now. You both are problematic. The difference with you is that you have a history of abusive behavior. So does she. Amber, you could probably shut everyone up with proof. I probably could, but I'm not like this girly pop that's just like, here's proof, plus how the fuck do I show it?
Exactly the point. Like, why are you not showing the evidence? If Emily's out here showing evidence of what you're doing wrong, why not do the exact same thing? You're either, one, trying to protect her because you want to get back in a relationship with her, or two, you're afraid of the repercussions of doing so, legally or potentially Emily having something much worse on you. So, which is it?
Why should we believe your words but not your ex's? Mandy, that's a good question. Like, this is very much like hearsay. It's like, do you believe this person or do you believe that person? My question for everyone truly is, have you ever seen me this fucking like insane? Like, go back to not the live stream from yesterday, but the one from like the first one I did about this whole mess. Have you ever seen me that hurt? Have you genuinely ever seen me that hurt about another ex? To that point where I'm like literally gasping for air.
I mean, you guys probably know my opinion, which is I don't believe either one of them are completely at fault or completely aggressor. I think it's a toxic cycle of them making each other the worst versions of themselves. And until one or both of them hit rock bottom, it's going to continue. And I think unless Amber finds a new partner to leech on, or for Emily to just get sick of it and walk away, it's going to continue. And I think Emily is one of the people that enjoys the toxicity almost as much as Amber. So it's going to be a cycle that continues for a while until one of them just walks away. And Amber will never do that.
Can you throw it back? Hell yeah, I can. And you know who loved it? Emily.
Listening to people talk like this really makes me wonder, like, is the majority of Amber's audience children, or are they just stuck in the mindset of children? Like, how are you going to be listening to a toxic relationship with potential assault, like domestic abuse, and whatever else that could be happening in this relationship? And meanwhile, you're talking about stupid shit like this. Like, it baffles my mind. Like, are these people mentally 14 or are they actually 14?
Not trying to impose on you, just to help. Thank you. I do appreciate you, baby girl. Explain the proof you lied about E letting R out. I did not lie about E letting R out. I will literally take that to my grave or to my cremation or to wherever the fuck I go once I pass on. I swear on everything and everyone.
You did lie. You fully admitted to lying. On top of that, you made a video supposedly you acting out a lie. So either you lied before or you lied now. Both cannot be true.
SF deleted stuff. Critical of her. Oh, I know Snowflake did. Oh, I know. I know he deleted stuff critical of her. I'm literally not stupid. I know this, and I know this because of Emily. Emily follows along on all this crap. I personally don't. I don't watch the reaction channels. I don't go on the forums. I don't go on the Reddits. That shit scares me beyond belief. But she does.
I can't say for sure that I know that is true because I don't follow Mr. Snowflake. That being said, it depends on the intent of why he did it. If he was doing it just to get in Emily's good graces, to get the scoop on Amber, then I can see the shadiness in that, especially if he's trying to hide it. But if he took something down because he no longer believed in it and he retracted it and apologized, or if he said something that may potentially have been true, but then turned out to be a lie, but he said it as if it was the truth, and then he retracted it and apologized, then I can understand why he did it, and I believe that is the respectful and the right thing to do. It depends on the intent. You can't simply say he took something down. It depends on how it was done. Like, there is intent and there is a reason why behind it.
Okay, first thing that popped up was, "Hi, Emily. Hope all is well. I'm about to kiss your ass so I can make some money and get some clout. What made you want to come out now and discuss your time with Amber?" Okay, so funny situation about this is Emily and I literally just got into an argument and that's it. That's it. That's always what happened. Anytime you guys saw her talk shit about me online, it's literally only because we got into an argument. That's it. If that's not like some type of like, I say abuse because it's like lack of a better word. Can you guys give me another word for it? I don't fucking know. If that's not whatever that is, then what the fuck is it? What is it? What the fuck is it? Tell me. Because I don't know. I feel fucking insane.
Now, if we are to believe what Amber is saying, and they just got into an argument, and Emily decided to run to Mr. Snowflake in an attempt to get back at Amber, then yes, I would say this is a betrayal and a form of abuse, because you're weaponizing an audience against your partner in order to get back at them. Like, that is not something I will ever agree with. That being said, I feel like there's a lot more to this story than just, we had an argument.
Emily's response: "Honestly, I was content staying silent for a long time, but you weren't. You weren't silent." What? I was silent. That was me. That was me. But I'm tired of watching her dodge any real accountability. You are literally the queen of dodging accountability.
Mate, you better be speaking to a mirror right now, because there is no way in hell you have the audacity to even utter those words.
For you to say sorry, random fact, Emily does not know that word. I don't think it's in her vocab. She creates her own reality and expects everyone to play along. Are we describing you right now? The sad part is most people do because they're either scared of her and don't want to deal with the drama. But I hit a point where I just couldn't sit back and watch her keep rewriting the truth. You are not afraid of me. How many times have I said that I'm afraid of you? You are not afraid of me because you've gotten public behind my... Amberlynn, calm down.
Why can't they both be true? Like, you said yourself that two things could be true at once. So why is it that Emily's not afraid of you? Like, why are you minimizing her feelings, but we're supposed to care about how you feel?
I'm about to have a BPD meltdown here on live. Can you imagine? Literally, behind my back, you've said awful things about me. You've done it publicly knowing that I would see it. If you were afraid of me, you would have never done those things. Not only that, if you were afraid of me, you would have never verbally abused... I've said that word so many times. This is not going to be monetized. Like, you wouldn't have verbally... Is there another word for that? You wouldn't have verbally me repeatedly to my face, in text, in Messenger, in this, in that, on FaceTime, on the phone. You wouldn't have done those things if you were afraid of me. You're not afraid of me. There's nothing to be afraid of. There is nothing to be afraid of. Yes, you could be afraid of a BPD meltdown because those can be kind of hecticana. Not gonna lie about it. But you're not afraid of me. That's just easy for you to say to look like the victim.
So why can't the two of you both be telling the truth? Like, aren't you the one that says that two things could be true at once? Why is it that you're afraid but she isn't, and that she's lying about it in an attempt to make you look bad? Like, that sounds a lot like projection if I had to say, Amber.
Snowflake replied, "Well, I'm glad you decided to speak up so I could get the money from it." So I guess we start at the beginning. I'm guessing everything was fine at the start of the relationship, or was there any little red flags? Well, there was red flags for me, but you know what? I was so fucking blinded by love bombing that I just like, red flags? What? They're in heart shapes though. All the red flags. It's all heart shaped, folks. It's all heart shaped. It's totally fine. And I also see red flags in the shade of pink. So it's cool. Let's see. Oh, we have a long. Okay. Emily said, "At first, everything was great."
I'm sorry, but the goddamn mouth pops are just pissing me off. I don't know what it is. I hate when people do that shit.
I really thought I had found someone who was kind, laid back, and just fun to be around. She was able to carry on a conversation, and it's hard to find these days. Looking back now, I obviously was looking at everything through rose-colored glasses. Wow, that sounds very Amberlynn coded. That sounds very Amberlynn coded, because that's how I feel about you. That is genuinely how I feel about you. She really made it seem like she was a grounded, supportive person. I told her up front I was grieving Colleen and still will be. Yes, that is true. She said she understood and respected that. Yes, that is true. Still do. She said it wouldn't be an issue at all. That is true. That was super important to me for her to be accepting of it. And for a little while, it felt good. We actually had fun together. We laughed, we joked around, and it was chill. I genuinely enjoyed spending time with her before she started showing me who she really was. I would love to hear who that was. I guess it was a typical scenario of love bombing.
It's funny that she didn't want to comment about that. You know, talking about love bombing and Emily doing all of these things in an attempt to make Amber fall in love with her, and yet nothing to say about the other way around.
I stayed the same throughout our whole relationship, even to the point of all of the betrayals, the lies, the emotional cheating, the deceit, all of it. I stayed the same. I stayed the same.
That is very hard to believe because we have seen how you act around all of your exes, and you have not really changed all that much when you get into a new relationship. You are constantly flip-flopping between emotional manipulation and pretending to be happy. And even when you were in Wisconsin, it was constant depression, 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 depression. That was because you were fighting constantly with each other. Like, you were trying to fake the happiness. Oh, you know, you'd wake up in such a great mood. Then why were you constantly sad all the time? And let's not pretend like it was about rarity, because you got over that real quick.
The fact that you can sit there and say that the roller coaster of our relationship that we were in was due to my love bombing and not your unwavering love. That is something that you told me, that I had unwavering love, that I was unwavering in general. And no matter what you put me through, I still stayed the same. That is what you said to me. But you, every day, I did not know what Emily I was going to wake up to. Was it the one that loved me? Was it the one that hated me? Was it the one that just wanted my belly? I never knew. 9 times out of 10, it was the one that hated me, especially towards the end.
I do have to say that I believe Amber when she says that Emily would wake up in bad moods, and I would have to say the reason why is probably because of you, Amber. I would also assume that you probably weren't the most pleasurable person to be around. And on top of everything, you just admitted that towards the end of the relationship, after so much fighting and stuff has happened, she was even worse. Why is that? Do you think it's probably because of all the arguing and fighting the two of you were doing? That maybe she wasn't enjoying it?
But I stayed the same. I kissed your ass because I was scared of you. Finally, when my BPD meltdowns, tantrums, whatever the fuck you want to call them, would snap, that's when my fear was gone. Because I was so heightened and so scared. My fight or flight was fight.
So let me get this straight. You were so scared of Emily that you could not speak out against her because you're afraid of what potentially might happen, but you're not scared of her enough to chase her from room to room and then attempt to barge in on her in the bathroom while she's locking the door, attempting to get away from you. I mean, that makes complete sense. Like, that is my favorite part of the horror movie, where, like, the victim is so scared, they're chasing the killer around the house instead.
The fact that you're turning this around and rewriting this whole thing to make you seem like a victim because my ex, Beck, might have been, is fucked up. You know exactly what you're doing.
No, what's fucked up, Amber, is you saying that Beck might have been a victim. Might. Like, that is fucked up.
Tell me why in every one of your relationships you broke up because the arguing was non-stop.
That is rather ironic, considering the fact that all of your past relationships have ended because you have been abusive. That's kind of more of a self-own than anything else.
Emily is that type of person who would wake up. You wake up in the greatest mood. I'm talking about me. Get me for an example. I wake up in the greatest mood. I'm in Wisconsin. I'm with my partner. We have wonderful fur babies. Everything's fine. She wakes up raging at nothing. First time, I was like, okay, this is weird. Second time, I'm like, whoa, is this going to be a pattern? Third time, I knew it was going to be a pattern. And that's what I had to deal with. Every day waking up wondering, is she about to rage for nothing? I would wake up with anxiety. It started with waking up happy to then waking up with crippling fucking anxiety. Just waiting for the next thing to drop. I'm scared of you. And you're rewriting history to the very fucking creator who called you a murderer.
I really do believe it's somewhere in the middle where they're both just equally just miserable in the relationship, and it was just a switch off. She would wake up happy, or Emily would wake up happy, and then it would just be something to set them off. Like, I don't believe it was Emily every single day, and I don't believe it's Amber every single day. I think it's a combination of both, and it's somewhere in the middle where the truth lies. Because both of them seem like terribly toxic people.
After everything I've been through, it was just nice to feel wanted and not. Oh, it was just nice to feel wanted and not be so alone anymore. I did want you. I did. And you weren't alone with me. That's one thing about having BPD is I might be up your ass a little too much. Thankfully with Zoloft, I gave you a lot of space. And it felt good because it was space that I also needed. But one thing is, you were never alone. No matter what you put me through, you were never alone. I was always there for you. No matter what. You hurt me and I was the one apologizing for getting blood on your floor. That was a metaphor. I don't want people to take that serious. That's how our relationship was.
You are aware, Amber, that just because you may be with someone physically does not mean that you are there mentally and emotionally. And you can also be there mentally and emotionally, but also for the wrong reasons. Like, you being there thinking that you giving them a little bit of support suddenly entitles you to other things is not real, emotional, and mature love. Like, that doesn't work like that. Also, even if you are there for those reasons and you're doing it for the right reasons, doesn't mean the person that is there is going to accept it. Sometimes they are going through their own grief and suffering, and sometimes they just need to be alone. Or sometimes what they want is not what they need.
Oh, now he has to sit here and read the whole thing. Oh, he put a video clip of us. Nice. Thanks for that. I don't want to see her. I hate Snowflake more than anything in this world. And I really hope that he gets some sort of like karma in his life, like genuinely. Because it's not fair.
Talk about poetry in motion, like such an innocent victim that she takes a moment to wish harm and the downfall of others just because she is upset at them.
Oh, his next question. Was it still nice when she came to stay with you? How long was she meant to stay? I'll answer that question. It was nice in the beginning. Maybe for a few days. But I'm telling you, every day was a roller coaster because I had no idea what Emily was going to wake up. And that fucking sucked. It reminded me of my dad, low-key. That's how it was when I was a child.
Was it though, Amber? Because you decide to stay there for 3 months, and then afterwards you decide to go home and then spend, what was it, a month afterwards crying that you didn't get to go back or you wanted to be back there. Like, we all remember the videos. We all remember the vlogs.
How long was she meant to stay for? A few weeks. A few weeks. She didn't want me to leave. I didn't want to leave. That's how it is with lesbian relationships. U-Haul lesbians, we didn't make up that term. That's a term for a reason. But I do want to say one thing. I did not want to move to Wisconsin. I want to make that very fucking clear. I just wanted to stay longer. She just wanted me to stay longer. I did not want to move there. Did not.
Girl, I call bullshit on that. When you first went there, you were essentially taking over the place, like straight up. Like, you did not have any intention of leaving.
Her reply. There were little red flags early on. Like, Amber would get upset if I didn't FaceTime her for hours every single day. Okay, hold on. I was going to respond to that, but let me finish the sentence. Or if I was busy at work and she didn't have time to message her. So first things first, the FaceTime her for hours every single day. That's true. And I think it's because that is the way that she said, okay.
I'm sorry, what was that, Amber? Because it sounded like you were about to say that Emily set that dynamic up, which is a lie because all of the exes that have come out have said the complete opposite. That you are the one that set that dynamic up, and if they didn't do what you said, you would be pissed.
So her and Colleen would be on FaceTime for hours and hours a day. And that is how mine and Emily's relationship started. And it was because she wanted that. So when that became a pattern where it was we were on FaceTime for hours and hours a day, that is what I got used to. It was like we were living together, but through technology. That is what I got used to. And having BPD, I have also very bad anxious attachment where like I need, thankfully, I just want to say I'm very much far gone from that area. I don't have that like anxious attachment feeling anymore. Thank God. It's been like that for months and it feels really good. I'm not going to lie, because it feels like genuinely you're in your own prison feeling like that. Like it feels almost impossible to heal. Like it is not a fun feeling at all. If you know, you know. So I will admit that that's definitely how it was, because that's, the pattern that we created together. And when I noticed, sometimes she didn't want to do that, my brain, because it's not wired the same as everyone else's, my brain would tell me she hates me. What did I do wrong? So yeah. She'd take it personally and get upset. Bam. Because that is the way my brain is wired, and that's unfortunate.
Amber, you have multiple exes who have come out and said that you do that 24/7. So you can't say that it's something that Emily set up, because you've done it with Beck, Destiny, Casey, Crystal, Wifey, with Erica. Like every single person you've basically been in a relationship since you've been on YouTube is said the exact same thing. So it's not Emily that set it up, it's that you set it up. And sure, Emily might have wanted to do that in the beginning of the relationship, but that shit gets old really fast, especially when you have a full-time job and you're tired and you just want to go home and you have some annoying person states away expecting you to stay up all night and then go to work and contact him again and then stay up all night over and over again. Do you understand how exhausting that is? And also to say that you have gone past that phase in your life, no, you haven't. You just don't have the ability to do so. And it's the exact same thing that my brother says. He will say like, oh, I haven't done X amount of time, but he neglects to mention it's only because he doesn't have the ability to do so. And can you guess what my brother has been diagnosed with, Amber? NPD. He has been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. He acts exactly like you, 100% to the T. Put a wig on him, he would be you. Well, a wig and about 500 pounds, and then he would be you.
During my first visit to Oklahoma, things actually seemed to go really well. But it was a short trip. We were still in that honeymoon phase. I hate that. I genuinely hate that, like that saying, honeymoon phase. Like, why can't we just say that we were happy together? Like, that's my whole thing about love bombing. Like, you can stay happy like that. But it just goes to show that Emily was the love bomber because we were in that honeymoon phase. I fucking hate that saying, bro. Like, genuinely.
But that's the thing, Amber. That is the honeymoon phase. Everything's new. Everything's exciting. You're finding out and figuring out a lifestyle with a person. When you settle into that lifestyle, it's not going to be new and exciting every single day. Like, that's what it is.
It was during my second visit when things started to feel off. I didn't even know that. That's new to me. I didn't even know that. She would get irritated if I checked my phone or responded to my messages that weren't about her or focused on her. I'm sorry, but I do not remember that. And like my whole thing with this whole situation is like, I want to be honest where I'm wrong. And I want her to be honest where she's wrong. And that's never going to happen. In Emily land, that's not going to happen. If I don't remember something, I'm strictly just going to say, I don't remember that. I'm not going to sit here and say that she's lying, because that sounds very much something like, Amberlynn at 24 would feel. So did Amberlynn do that then? Maybe. But I do not remember that.
Wow, such a convenient excuse. Like, I will admit to my wrongdoings. I just don't remember any of them.
That visit also happened right after she posted who I was, and she was and the doxing stuff. Ooh, we get to talk about that. Oh, I'm excited actually, because Anyways, let's keep going. That visit also happened right after she posted who I was and the docs and stuff that happened. So tensions are high. So I kind of brushed it off at the time, thinking it was just stress. But everything really started to change when Amber came to visit me. Yeah, because I saw your true colors. I saw your true colors. Those red flags and those lightly pink red flags that were heart shaped, they started to become brown and every other color that I don't like puke green. And they were no longer heart shaped. They were like circles and squares and rectangles and triangles because of you. Because of you. And I remember we were sitting in your garage and you know, while you're in your little recliner chair and you're smoking cigarettes and I'm sitting next to you. And you said, you know what? Something I really like about you, you're always positive. You bring a positivity to my life that I've never had before. You're a very optimistic person. That changed, didn't it? Why? Why did that change, Emily? Why did that change? Why did I stop being so positive? Why did I stop laughing all the time with you? Why? Where did that optimism go? Why? What changed? Who changed me? Think about that for 3 seconds. Who changed me? It wasn't me.
Maybe because the two of you were in a toxic cycle and you made each other worse. It wasn't entirely Emily's fault. It was also yours. Like, trying to make yourself a victim when you also are part of the problem is the very reason why none of your relationships have lasted, Amber. Like, you are a very big part of the reason why your relationships fail. Because you always need constant validation from other people and it gets exhausting. And then you become toxic because you don't get enough validation. Or if you do, probably, like, I wouldn't be surprised if one of your partners is probably constantly validating you to the point where they're overexerting themselves and making themselves miserable, and it's still not enough.
So the part about that visit also happened right after she posted who I was. I did not want to show anyone who Emily was. I actually have text message proof of this. We had talked about it in text messages. I knew the hate was going to happen. I explained the hate. I told her, I don't want the haters to find you. I don't think you can handle it. I don't want you to handle it. I don't want to post you. I was guilt tripped so bad. She would say things like, I don't want to be hid. I don't understand. Like, Alexis actually told you guys this. Alexis lied about some stuff, but there was some stuff she was truthful on. I've always said that. But I was guilt tripped into revealing who she was. She would say things, I want people to know that you're taken. I don't want to be hidden. I don't want to be a secret. I was like stuck in a spot. I was terrified. I was like, I don't want to lose Emily. Like, I feel like I'm being forced into this, but I also don't want the internet to ruin it for me as well, because I knew exactly what was going to happen. And I warned her, and she still wanted it to happen. All of the doxing, she took it out on me. You guys, it was horrendous. I ended up getting cellulitis. I had 103 temperature. It was almost 104. My temperature was so high, I couldn't even think straight. During, like, the climax of it all, I couldn't even think straight. She repeatedly was calling me, telling me, and texting me, call lawyers, fix this for me. She didn't care that I was sick. I had 103 temperature. And I was genuinely, like, when you have BPD, like, you have that favorite person, they can do no wrong. It's the rose-colored glasses situation. And that's very much how it felt for me. Like, I did not want to lose her. I'd do anything to keep her. So I'm, like, calling lawyers, Googling lawyers, while literally vomiting, almost 104 temperature, can't think straight. Like, genuinely, my brain was being fried, and all she cared about was me calling lawyers. I should have known then that she was a selfish person.
It is rather interesting that you say that, Amber, because then how come you've had the ability to say no to every single partner up until now? Because you don't just suddenly get BPD. Like, it's not something that just appears out of nowhere. So, how exactly did you say no to Crystal, Destiny, Casey, Beck, Wifey, Erica, all these people, and yet suddenly now, just no ability to say no. 19 hours away, she can control every single move of yours. Why is that? Why wasn't it the same with every single other partner of yours?
Okay. Her other message was she was originally only supposed to stay for a week or two tops. That's not true. It wasn't going to be some extended thing. It definitely wasn't going to be 3 months, no. We were planning on probably around 2 weeks because that's when I'd be off of work and be able to take her home. But by day 2 of her being at my house, things already started to shift. It was weird how high strung she was that early on. I don't know what shifted, or it was the change in environment, but she just acted off. Emily, if that is the case, why did you want me to stay longer? Why did you want me to move in? Why did you call me? Why did you literally say that that was my home too? Why, when I came home because I chose to come home, you would message me saying, I immediately want you to come back home. I want you to be here. I want you to move in. Why did you say those things? If I was so high strung and I acted off on day 2, why did you allow me to stay for 3 months? Why did you not want me to leave? Why on your birthday, when I made you spaghetti dinner and I wrote you a card saying that I'm willing to stay if you change and you do better and you stop lying to me and stop being deceitful and stop calling me names? Why did you cry because you wanted me to stay that bad and I finally decided to stay?
God, this is starting to sound like a Lifetime drama. Like, I made you spaghetti and you said I could stay.
If on day 2 I acted that way, why did you tell me week 3 of me being there, you're the most positive person, the most optimistic person, like you're always happy. You're so bubbly and fun to be around. Why did you say those things? That's very confusing to me. And it makes me feel like I was living in a Twilight Zone. Like, genuinely.
Probably because you're both manipulators. You're both the toxic people, so it's just one big cycle. And the funny thing is, Amber, you finally met your match, and now you're pissy about it. Imagine what all of your exes have gone through.
Blah, blah, blah. Can I, like, fast forward this? Oh, there's more of us. Okay. She really didn't like that I had a life outside of her. Not true. I mean, I work 12-hour shifts. I have a family, friends, pets, a house to take care of. Those are true things, but I didn't care because she only worked like twice a week. So, what?
Notice that she only pointed out the work twice a week. She only worked twice a week. Okay, but what if she was spending time with friends, family, her pets, and other stuff, Amber? Were you getting jealous and aggressive then? Were you having issues then?
I have responsibilities. But anything that wasn't about her felt like an inconvenience to her, and she made that very clear. That is so not fucking true. It is absolutely insane. So when it comes to friends, she doesn't have friends. She had like a couple coworkers and stuff that she like kind of considered friends. I would always be like, why don't we go hang out with them? I don't understand like why she didn't want to introduce me to her friends. I thought that was so weird.
That was 3 different contradictions in one. She doesn't have friends. Well, she has co-workers that she considers friends. We didn't hang out with her friends. Which is it? Like, it has to be one of those 3.
I didn't meet her family in person until like I genuinely had to. And I'm not going to say like that's personal. It's like medical stuff. I'm not going to like get into it. And I always wanted to like go to her families, hang out with people. Like I was miserable in Wisconsin. I don't think you guys understand. All I did was sit in her fucking room in her bed. That is all I did.
I mean, you say that as if you don't do that for days, weeks, months, even years on end. Like, you've been bedbound before. And I mean, to be fair, Emily probably likes people bedbound.
Load to my MacBook, please. I want to see the text message. There we go. Are you really talking about my family? Oh, didn't say anything personal. I just said I wanted to meet them. Can you calm down, Emily? Like, for real. Like, you literally said in the message, I have family and friends and pets. Like, I'm just responding to what you said. Hot damn diggity. Anyways.
Just because someone mentions their family, Amber, does not give you a right to talk about stuff that doesn't concern you. Stay out of it and don't bring it up.
So it's like I wanted to go do these things. Like I literally just sat in her bed, like genuinely, constantly. So the fact that she's saying that is crazy. I would purposely try to find ways to like leave the house. Like I was like, can we do like a 5 Below challenge? So like I paid to do like this 5 Below challenge with her and a family member. Not going to go into detail. And it's like, you know, I was like, oh my God, can we go to the arcade? Can we do this? Can we do that? We literally, like the fact that we even went to Billie Eilish, like love that for me. Like, I'm always so appreciative.
If only you had the ability to drive yourself around, Amber, you wouldn't need other people to rely on. Also, did you expect people who work a full-time job, especially someone who's supposed to be a nurse, by the way, you know, a very demanding job, to chauffeur you around after work? Like, do you not understand how exhausting that is? Like, that's not the reality for a lot of adults. A lot of adults come home, they spend time with their partner or alone, and just mind their own business and have a calm evening. Like, they don't need to go out shopping, going to arcades, going to gambling, going to drinking, going to do X, Y, and Z. Stuff like that doesn't happen for typical average adults.
I'd get home from a 12-hour shift completely exhausted from a stressful job, and she'd get upset if I wanted to go straight to bed. That is such a fucking lie. You have never in your life gotten off of work and went straight to bed.
Amber, you've known this woman for 13 months and you were with her for 3. How do you even know that? Like, that's such a baseless assumption. And just because she stayed up with you does not mean that's not her typical normal. Maybe she was catering to you so that way she didn't have to deal with your bullshit later.
She'd say things like, oh, you're not going to hang out with me, or ask me to take her to the casino or go shopping. We went to Five Below one time. We went to the casino a couple times, and guess who paid? Me. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm not gonna lie, I spent a little too much at that casino, but I paid for that. And guess who else who wanted to go? Guess who else who loves the casino and the bingo and the scratchers and the this and the that? Emily. We got along in that way. She loved it.
Okay, but that's not the point of the conversation, Amber. Like, why are you holding money over people's heads when we're not even talking about that? And I thought you got past that. I thought you don't do that anymore. Yet, here we are.
She never said no. She never said no. And did we go to the casino after you went to work? Maybe once. But it was usually on a day that you took off by your doing.
Do you even hear yourself, Amber? Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're not making any sense whatsoever. Taking a day off from work means that you don't go to work. But if she went to work and then went to do stuff afterwards, that means she didn't take a day off, Amber. Like, you're so smug about being wrong. It's genuinely wild to me. Like, I don't understand how you can be so smug about not even comprehending the things you're talking shit about.
So don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. Please don't fuck with me. Like, I'm so tired of the lies. Like, genuinely, it is... I'm like... There's probably a word for it, but I can't find it right now.
Where's the lie, Amber? Because if she did do that after work, then she is not lying. Like, that's not a lie. I don't understand what you're trying to argue here. And for you to point out that she also used your money to do things that you wanted to do, yes, like, did you expect her to stand in the corner? Was she supposed to be just a good little chauffeur and wait for you to finish at the casino?
If I said no, she'd get upset. You've never said no. You never said no. And compared to her working on vlogs all day. That never happened because I didn't vlog at your house.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that because you did multiple videos, Amber. Now, I wouldn't say that Emily is completely right either because a lot of the content that Amber did was bits and pieces. Like, it wouldn't take all day, almost every single day, to do all the filming. Like, that just wouldn't happen. Also, this is Amber we're talking about.
I maybe did a few videos. I did a few fucking videos. So that's not true, Emily. Saying she still had the energy to do things, so I should too. Okay. None of that ever happened. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I do not care what anyone says. I believe 100% that Amber has said this in the past. If she has not said it to Emily, she has definitely said it to someone else.
Amber expected me to constantly be available. I will say, I was a little like that. I was a little like that. I can take accountability there. If I didn't text or call during my breaks, or if I wasn't giving her attention constantly, she'd get upset or start a fight. That's due to my trauma. I will say that probably did happen. I can admit that one.
I would not be surprised if Amber thinks this is real accountability. Like, oh yeah, I did it because of trauma. Oh, well, I said it, I did it. That's taking accountability, right? Like, no, that's not accountability, Amber.
I told her in the beginning that I need to be able to have alone time because that is how I decompress from stress. That's true. We've had arguments about that before she visited too because she didn't like that. She would always accuse me of not loving her and and how terrible of a girlfriend I was. I never said you were a terrible girlfriend. You became terrible. You became terrible. You became very terrible. She wanted me to call out of work anytime she was having a crisis. Or just felt like she wanted me to stay at home. Fucking lie. Fucking lie. Fucking lie.
I could believe that because Amber has done it in the past with Beck. Like, this is something she's done before. And even if Emily said, no, I want a job, I want to keep my job, Amber could just say, well, you took yesterday off. Like, why can't you take today off? Like, I'm really struggling. My BPD, my anxiety, my depression. Like, Amber is not above using her disorders or disabilities as a way of getting at something out of someone. So, what's it to say that she hasn't used it to get Emily to pull a sick day?
The flat out lies is what's really fucking scary to me. She was always in a bad mood because of this. I don't know what that means. If I did anything that didn't involve her directly, she would start an argument. Not true. I was exhausted trying to juggle everything in my life on top of her constantly being mad at me. You weren't really juggling anything because you didn't really do much of anything. We'd get into arguments and she just wouldn't let anything go. That is fucking you. That is literally you to a T. And I sit here and I rage and I rage and I rage because you pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. You lied. You cheated. You betrayed. You lied. You did secret shit. You verbally abused me, etc., etc. The list literally, genuinely goes on. I have never been more gaslit and manipulated in my life. I have never felt the way that you made me feel in my life by anyone I have ever been in a relationship with, ever in my whole entire life. I've never experienced something like that, ever. And I told my mom exactly the way that you made me feel. And you know what she told me? Amberlynn, that's exactly how I felt with your dad. The shit that my dad would put my mom through was terrifying, and I had to witness that. The fact that you made me feel the way that my dad made my mom feel is fucking sick.
No, Amber, you know what is genuinely sick? The fact that you're going to try comparing your relationship with your parents' relationship. And I'm not going to say that yours isn't toxic, but it is nowhere near the level of what your parents went through. And I'm just going to throw this out there because I just believe it 100%. By the end of this shitstorm, Amber is going to attempt to try and get back with Emily. Whether or not they're going to get back together and date in secret again is just something that's going to be remained to be seen. Like, we'll eventually find it out, but Amber is going to try to get back with Emily, which just highlights the fact that it's not even close to being as bad as your parents' relationship.
I never knew how my dad made my mom internally feel until I told my mom the way you made me feel. Think about that for 2 fucking seconds. And now I'm finally genuinely speaking my truth and you're threatening me.
Except you're not talking your truth, Amber. You're talking about your perspective of the truth. There is only one objective truth, and I believe that is somewhere in the middle between the bullshit the two of you are spewing.
Cool. Okay, she would gaslight, deflect, just typical narcissistic behavior. We both know I'm not a narcissist. Have I thought that in the past? Yes. Have I taken plenty narcissist tests? Yes. Have I talked to therapists? Yes, because genuinely that terrifies me. But you know that I'm not a narcissist. You know that I'm not. You know that. But the behaviors that you demonstrate, whether that be publicly or behind closed doors, shows textbook narcissist behavior. And it scares me. You scare me. But I have a lot of support behind me. I have my mom behind me. I have my friends behind me who have seen me go through this for months and months and months now. And that is what is giving me the strength to speak up. It's not me. I'm not strong. It's the people who are supporting me. And I've needed that. It got to the point where I started going into the other room just to sleep because she wouldn't stop arguing with me when I was trying to rest before a shift. That happened one time. And it's when everything hit the fan. And I followed you in there with my BPD meltdown, my tantrum. Yeah, I did. And I'm able to admit that. My pain turned me into a monster because of what you did. Yeah, I am able to admit that.
It's interesting that you can only admit things when it's a direct reaction to someone else's action. Like, very narcissistic of you, which is ironic considering the fact that everyone but you is a narcissist, apparently.
And you're not taking accountability for anything, and that's terrifying to me. I'm not done with this video, but I sure hope that you do take accountability. I literally have to get off of here soon, so I need to go quicker because I literally have an appointment with my mom and my grandma to spend the day with them. She came into the room and stood over the bed. She told me that if I wasn't going to continue the conversation, which was basically her going on and on of how I didn't love her and all of this crap, then said, fine, if I can't have peace from being able to have this conversation, then you aren't going to either. She would then stand next to the bed I was sleeping in and intentionally keep me up all night. I feel like this happened every time she knew I was going to work, like she was intentionally keeping me up because she didn't like that I wasn't home instead of work. That's a bullshit lie. That's a bullshit lie. I liked when you went to work. Not gonna lie, it was peace from you. I liked having those 2 days a week where I didn't have to be like, oh my God, is she gonna be raging at me? Is there gonna be a fat joke? Are we gonna argue? I liked that peace, Emily. Genuinely liked that peace. That one time, did I stand next to the bed crying for you to hear me, to love me? I felt so unheard. I felt so unloved. I was betrayed. Like, you constantly were deceitful. Did I do that? I did. I stood there, bawling my eyes out, waiting for a hug, reassurance, love, kindness, empathy, anything to show that you were remorseful for hurting me. And you did not give me any of that at all.
Except that's not a justification for your actions. You don't get to deprive someone of sleep just because you feel the type of way. And again, I don't agree with someone cheating, but at the same time, you trying to deprive someone of sleep is a form of abuse. Like, not on. Full stop.
Snowflake said, it sounds like she didn't want you to work and just spend all day at home with her. I'm guessing she used BPD as an excuse for her shitty behavior. I'm guessing so. What's your excuse, Snowflake? Emily replied, she 100% used her BP as an excuse. I do. It's also a reason.
You have only ever used it as a justification for your actions. It's always an excuse, never a reason, Amber.
That's what's frustrating me the most. Anytime she'd have one of her tantrums, she wouldn't take any accountability and say it's because she has BPD. And she'd be like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to tell you how I feel. Which is true. I am just trying to tell you how I feel. When she would literally scream at me about something like taking 4 minutes longer than I would have when I went outside to smoke. Not true. I told her she can't use that as an excuse if she refuses to do anything to help herself to get better. She made a lot of false promises of getting into therapy. So did you. You need therapy bad, girl. You need therapy bad, like on a different type of level. We promised each other that we would both get help, that we would take our medicines, that we would be better not only for each other, but for our fucking selves, for ourselves. I went to the therapy. I was going to the therapy appointments. I was taking my Zoloft. I was doing this and that, and you were doing nothing but every day raging at me and being mean to me for no reason. Going behind my back and saying awful things about me.
Yet you admitted that you were having unmedicated meltdowns. So were you taking your medication or weren't you taking your medication? Or were you taking your medication when you felt like it? Because if you're on your medication and it was working, you wouldn't be having unmedicated meltdowns. Like, that's not how it works, Amber.
Yeah, I remember a video where she said she found a therapist in Wisconsin. I thought, and right, she's been awful to Emily, and this is her way of saying, hey, I'm going to get help. Of course, Snowflake, because you create like narratives in your head. In any way that Amberlynn could be wrong or bad, you create that. The fact that I found a therapist, it led you to a pipeline of thinking I was awful to Emily and that's why I got a therapist, is insane behavior. So what would she do all day when, Snowflake said, so what would you do all day when you were at work? I'm going to take a guess and say nothing. Lay in bed all day watching reaction channels. So no, I wasn't watching reaction channels, but yeah, all I did was stay in her bed. That is all I did. Let's see what she said. Yep. What? I feel like some of this is like out of order because this doesn't make sense. But the response was, yep, that was one of her manipulative tactics and staying longer when it was getting to the point where I was asking her to leave. I literally have journal entries. I have journal entries, and I'm pretty sure I have messages literally telling you that I needed to leave, that I could not do this anymore, that I genuinely could not do this anymore. I was miserable. I would call my mom constantly, bawling my eyes out, Emily, bawling because of you. And my mom was like, honey, I will come get you. You deserve better. You don't deserve this. That was a constant everyday thing, an everyday battle, and you know it. I was miserable.
Then why wouldn't you leave, Amber? You had someone who would drive like 38 hours there and back just to pick you up. You had the ability to leave. Someone literally told you they would drive to pick you up, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm good. I want to stay in this shithole.
She thought she would get a therapist here. I'd let her stay so she could do the therapy. She did a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. I didn't do shit there. I was miserable. She sit around and watch YouTube videos, including reaction channels, all day. No, I did her laundry. She did do my laundry because I literally could not do the laundry. She had one of those laundries where you had to bend down. I could not, like, because mine's different. It's like, how do you explain it? There's the ones that are out like this, and then the ones that are like this. Hers was like this. And that's how it was when I lived with Eric and Ricky as well. That's how their washer and dryer was. And I couldn't, like, go down to get it. I'm too short and too fat. My stomach was literally in the way. I could not reach down and get my laundry. So yes, she did do my laundry, and she did it twice when I was there. That's it, just twice.
Is anyone else amazed that Amber didn't go on a spiel about how the washing machine is fatphobic?
I cleaned up after her and took care of the pets. She won't ever let Twinkie or the dogs out during the day when she was home. That's a fucking lie. So I'll come home from work. I have to clean up Twinkie's pee off the brand new floor that I put in. And her dog's pee, but that's not true. That was from when we were fucking sleeping. I was really proud of the floor because I recently just put it in and did it myself, which is a lot of hard work physically. I literally, which I explained this in my last live stream, when her dog and her cat Princess, literally her cat Princess pees on everything. All over my clothes, everything. Genuinely. That was one of the times she did my laundry because it was all over my clothes. And I literally have actually text message proof of that. Of her cat peeing all over my clothing. She's not a bad pet mom. I'm here to say the truth. Emily is a good pet mom. She loves her pets. There's no like weirdness with that, but I'm just saying no pet is perfect. Actually, yes, they are. Mine are.
Yeah, as someone who's owned a menagerie of animals, Amber, if your animals have been toilet trained and are still pissing and shitting around the house, I would question your ability to properly raise and look after animals, because that shouldn't be happening. And if your animal is properly toilet trained, then why are they pissing and shitting around the house? Like, something is clearly off. You need to take them to the vet to check out why that is. Or maybe find someone that knows how to properly train animals so that way they will stop pissing and shitting on stuff.
Pets make mistakes. That's just how it goes. But what I did is, because I felt fucking horrific, I felt horrible, I bought these really expensive, and they're like attractive looking, like gates for her living room. They're not like these ugly looking things. Like, they look really good in her living room, like the way that she has it, and like the, you know. And then I bought a really expensive like Hoover, and I was trying to fix the floor for her. Like, even though it wasn't just Twinkie, my dog is elderly. Twinkie does make mistakes. Twinkie is not perfect. I'm not going to lie about it. Twinkie does make mistakes. I try my very hardest to take her out as frequently as possible, but while I'm sleeping or this or that, like, she does have mistakes. It's going to happen. She's very elderly. I've talked to the vet about this. Like, I don't know what to say about it, but I was very apologetic and I tried to fix it. That was something that I tried to do.
As someone who has owned a menagerie of animals, someone who has trained many, many animals to go to the bathroom, Amber, if your cats and dogs are pissing and shitting around the house, either A, you have no idea how to properly train an animal to go to the bathroom, or B, they are incredibly stressed out, and even if they are toilet trained, they're in a new environment, don't know what's going on, or around new pets and don't know what's going on, so now they're dealing with all these different things, and that's probably causing a lot of anxiety, which is counterintuitive to the point you made originally when you took them to Wisconsin. You're stressing your animals out, and now they are going to the bathroom all over the place in Emily's house. Now, I can respect the fact that you tried to fix your mistake. Your dog's made a mistake, your cat's made a mistake, and you tried to fix that. That is something I can praise because I would not be surprised if you tried to scapegoat it. Like, that is something that I can finally go, you know what, Amber, you did something right for once.
He said, ugh, disgusting. Only time I remember her talking about her responsibilities with the pets was when she did the video explaining how Rarity got out. I'm sure she talked about that stuff, but then I just can't remember. Actually, before I ask about Rarity, how did the tantrums get? What was the worst? If you're okay talking about it. If not, I'll shut my face. You know what's funny? When me and Emily were messaging last night, Snowflake literally was asking questions about my hygiene. Emily told me. Snowflake was literally asking questions about my hygiene. That's where his head is at, bro. That is where his head is at. This isn't for justice for Emily. This is for clout and for money and for making Amberlynn look as worse as she can look. Like, if Amberlynn can look bad, he's gonna do it. Even if it ain't real, even if it's not founded in reality, he will make me look as shitty as possible. That is his job.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the point of having a reaction channel, is to get views and attention. Now, I personally would say that is pretty petty. Like, yeah, I can agree that it's not really something that I personally would think of when interviewing someone about a toxic relationship and potential abuse. But if that's what he wants to talk about and that's the questions he wants to ask, you know, let him do him. That's really all it comes down to.
The tantrum slowly escalated each time. I started with her just shouting at me to escalating to her slamming doors and punching walls. That never fucking happened. I think I slammed a door one time because I was so fed up. I went to a different room, slammed the door. I was done. Like the betrayal, the gaslighting, the stonewalling, the cruelty, the fat jokes. I never punched a wall. Anytime I tried leaving the room, she would block doorways. She was also really jealous. I was very jealous. I'm a very jealous person in relationships. I've been very honest about that. Anytime I talked about Colleen, I made it very clear that I'm very understanding of the whole Colleen situation. But when you would compare me to Colleen in fights, you began to turn that into a weapon. You turned Colleen, this beautiful, caring, kind woman, into a weapon to hurt your current fucking girlfriend. That's when it became weird. That's when it became fucked. That's when it became awkward. Colleen was no longer your late fiance, but a weapon to hurt your current girlfriend. That's not cool, dude. That's not cool. That's fucked. That is fucked. You do not do that.
You mean kind of like what you did 5 minutes ago with your parents' abusive relationship, Amber? You used that as a weapon to justify your bad behavior?
I wasn't allowed to share memories or say anything about it really anymore, or she would end up getting really pissed. I wonder fucking why. Because she became a weapon just to hurt me. It was psychotic behavior. You made me fucking crazy, Emily. And I've never felt that way before. Ever. But the worst tantrum was actually the night that Rarity went missing. Exactly like I said. And why was I reacting that way? For the audience watching, let me remind you. Emily and I were sitting in her car, and she had lied to me for weeks about this woman she was speaking to. She said it was a coworker. Turns out it was a hater that she was friends with, where she would talk shit about me. So she let me have her phone because, she felt guilty. She would stare at me right in my fucking eyes. The woman that she loves, she would stare at me in my eyes and say, I'm not lying to you. You know how many times she has lied to me and about so much fucking shit? It's unbelievable. I could write a whole Emily encyclopedia of lies. I might publish that. Who knows? She would look at me dead ass in the eyes and say, this is someone I work with. It was a hater who despised me. So when she let me go through her phone, she didn't know that I could go to her screen time and see the apps that she was on. She was on Tumblr looking at naked women bigger than me right after having sex with me. And the picture that is so engraved in my brain that made my whole soul leave my body was this woman on an oxygen tank in a hospital bed. My whole soul left my body. And then in that same moment, I find her on Phoebe, which is where the feeders go to do their thing. I click the messages. Literally, the day that we met in person, she messaged a girl saying how sexy she was. She messaged another masked lesbian feeder saying, wow, we're rare. Masked lesbian feeders. That's the day I found out the truth. That's the day I found out the truth about everything. Well, not slightly everything, but most of it. I was destroyed. Destroyed. You want to talk about a crash out? I had a crash out. I had a full-blown crash out. And everyone that I have told this story to me who are close to me, I don't know if they're just saying it to like make me feel better, to save my ass or whatever it may be. They said I would have crashed out too. Are you fucking kidding me? Emily, you hurt me so bad. And then you get mad and play victim because of my reaction. You hurt me, betrayed me, lied to me, deceitful, etc. The list goes on. And you get to play victim over my reaction of the pain that you caused me? No one deserves that. Why couldn't you have just loved me? Why couldn't I have just loved you? That is the part that is like, I asked her that so many times. It was unbelievable. Why couldn't we just be happy?
And I will say the exact same thing again. You are allowed to feel how you want to feel, Amber. If you feel like you were betrayed and you were cheated on, then you had a valid reaction in being upset. You did not have a valid reaction in chasing someone around a house and barging in on them. You do not get to do that. You do not get to force someone into an argument. You do not get to chase someone down. You do not get to scream at someone. You do not get to chase someone out of their own home. You are valid in your feelings, but not your reaction.
She saw me scrolling through my phone and there was this woman on my Instagram feed. She flipped out and said I was micro cheating. The argument escalated really fast. She fucking lied. She saw this woman on my Instagram feed. She won't even admit to the Tumblr. She won't even fucking admit to the Tumblr. When I tell you my jaw is on the floor, can someone pick it up for me? 'Cause I'm too fucking fat. She won't even admit to the Tumblr. Instagram feed. What is actually happening right now? Anyway, okay. Whew, that was the first time she got physical with me. She threw things at me. What did I throw at you? You know what? Let me go right here. What did I throw at you, actually? I threw things at her? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Let me go to the message. She threw things at me. All it does is take 5 words to make someone seem like a real fucking abusive bitch. I didn't throw a thing at you, Emily. Oh, she replied. The water bottle that was on my dresser. Oh, I threw a water bottle on your dresser. Okay, let me go back to the text message from last night where you said that I did not throw it at you. Here it is. You know when you picked up the water bottle to throw at me? All I did was pick it up. I didn't throw it at you. And then here it goes. Where did I respond? Oh, and then you said, so when you picked it up and raised it like you were gonna throw it, what was that? That is what you said right fucking there. So did I throw it or not? The sky is fucking blue, folks. It's not pink. The sky is fucking blue. It is not pink. I wish it was pink. That would be cute as fuck. That would be cute as fuck. But how are you going to sit here and lie? I didn't throw anything at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some evidence. Can you show us the messages? Like, we want to see the messages. Like, I want to see them so I can have physical proof. Also, yes, there is a difference between throwing and picking up a bottle with the intent to throw it, but not actually doing so. Like, one is a threat, the other is physical violence. Both bad, but not equally as bad. So if Emily is lying, then yes, she should be called out for lying.
That's wild. I'm like so actually shook right now. Never threw a fucking thing at you, girl. I'm not fucking physically abusive. I was with Beck for fucking 5 years. Never threw anything at them. Never hit them. Nothing. I'm not fucking abusive. As I sit here and I'm like trying to pound it down to my own hand. The only person I'm abusive to is my fucking self.
Are we going to forget about the Ask FM posts or Alexis, your best friend at the time, admitting supposedly that you were assaulting wifey? Or how about the time you threw the can at Destiny's car? Like, are we going to forget those?
That was the first time she got physical with me. She threw things at me. I told her I was going to leave the room. She then oh my God, this is the part where I actually videoed my mom because it's psycho. Wait until you guys hear this part. Whew. She then grabbed my arm and dug her nails into my arm to the point of drawing blood. I have a picture that she later deleted months later. I have a picture of her. Okay, how do I start this? I want to dumb this down for dummies. I want to dumb this. Sorry, I haven't been like explaining that. I haven't been reading super chats, but this one I just have to like respond to. The way you're getting angry now shows how you were. Bitch, this is called reactive. This is called I am reacting to fucking trauma. I'm reacting to being gaslit. I'm finally fucking, like, this is what they call when a narcissist constantly pushes and pushes and pushes someone and then they finally like respond. It makes them look like the fucking crazy one. It makes me look like I'm actually insane. You know what? I probably am. But why am I responding like this? Look at everything Emily has done. That's why.
Amber, reactive abuse is still a form of abuse. It's just when people are pushed to their limits, they react negatively. It's not justifiable. Like, we shouldn't be justifying reactive abuse. Usually when people do that, it's because they are pushed to their limit and snap. And even then, most of the times, for the majority of the people who do reactive abuse, they understand what they did was wrong and they never justify it. They typically regret their decisions and hate that part of themselves. They hate that they did that. You're crashing out on the internet. That's not reactive abuse. That's you just trying to have just a fight. That is you just acting out a fight that you would have privately in public.
The pain that she has caused inside of me is so fucking painful that I can't even begin to explain it. It is like physically painful. It's mentally, it's emotionally. I feel like I'm going to be experiencing this for the rest of my fucking life. All right, let me dumb this down for dummies. Whew. Okay. Emily and I were fighting, like, not physically, sorry. We're arguing. You know, the BPD tantrums coming out of me. She's stonewalling. She don't give a fuck. Like, she doesn't care. She did all these bad things. She does not give a fuck at all. And her room, I talked about this in live stream, it's cluttered. It has, you know, dirty clothes pile. It has this fucking rug that constantly flips and this and that. There's 2 huge dog beds. One's Twinkies. One's her dogs. Like, it's a mess. I end up tripping over the fucking rug. I'm going to like fall. Instead, my body goes onto her. She falls. I grab her arm because that's my instinct, was to grab her. That was like my first instinct, was to just grab her. So you know what she does? Oh my God. She takes a picture of her arm. I think it was, I don't know, an hour later. While she's in her car, she takes a picture of her arm and she sends it to me. Okay? Keep in mind, she's wearing a short sleeve. The picture of her arm shows nothing. It shows nothing. The fact that she says grabbed my arm to the point of drawing blood is crazy because I have the pictures, which she later deleted months later. And I'll tell you why. It was 2 days later. We're now arguing about the argument that we had 2 days prior. Talk about toxic. We're now arguing about the argument we had 2 days prior. Why are we arguing about that? Because Amberlynn's hurting. Amberlynn's hurting from the betrayal, from the lies, the deceit, etc., etc. God, those are like, I haven't said those words more times than I, like, that's all I can say is fucking lies, deceit, because that's all I got. Like, that's all it was for a hot minute there. So,
imagine complaining about toxicity in a relationship when you are the toxicity in said relationship. Like, you're the one choosing to argue about arguing. Like, why did you complain about that when you started the argument?
you know, you're hurting. It's not going to go away in 2 days. Like, it's not going to go away in 2 days. It's just not. So every time I'd go to express myself, we'd start arguing, and then it would turn into this big old thing. So we're arguing again. She ends up leaving the house again. That's what she does. And she ends up sending, oh my God, you guys are never going to believe it. She ends up sending me a picture of her arm with these nail marks that are like so like deep. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, well, I'm literally on the phone with my mom, bawling. And I'm sending my mom these screenshots because Emily's in the car and we're like going at it in the messages. And I'm like, Mom, I think Emily just faked nail marks. And my mom's like, what are you talking about? Show me. I end up sending my mom the original from the night where I grabbed her when she was falling, the original message, the original picture in a message where Emily's wearing a short sleeve shirt and you see nothing. You see nothing. Emily literally faked nail marks in a different shirt on a different day, took the picture as if it was the same fucking day.
Okay, so show us the photos. Like, instead of just screaming into the void, show us the two photos and the differences, Amber. And I want to see clear-cut pictures. I don't want to see so blurry-ass bullshit that doesn't show any evidence.
Okay. This part, holy fuck, I feel like I'm living. And I'm like, am I just imagining the gouges out of my arm? I don't know how to make this big, folks. But it's good to know I do have the screenshots. Maybe I can like post them in video or something. Because I can't. It's like literally like this big. And I don't want you guys to see all the other hectic stuff of it all. But it's so funny. In one of the screenshots, my mom's face is distraught. Oh my God, poor thing.
I'm sorry, but I'm failing to see the funny in that, Amber. How is your mom being distraught funny? Like, a woman that had to deal with being in an abusive relationship now has to deal with her daughter being in an abusive relationship. That's not funny.
See, this is what I mean about being gaslit. You start to think, did it really happen? If it wasn't for me saving that fucking screenshot that she later deleted, I would be sitting here thinking, did that really happen? I'm just like literally like.
I would honestly be more empathetic towards Amber if I did not hear gaslit every 2 seconds. Like, we have become so desensitized by things like BPD, gaslit, childhood trauma, all of these just buzzwords that when she says it, it means nothing. Like, oh, Amber's been gaslit again. Guess it's a Tuesday.
I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know what to do. Oh, image. Open viewer? I'm scared I'm going to delete something. Bitch, I figured it out! Oh my God, suck my ass. I've never been more excited in my life. If you're texting me and you don't want to be doxxed, do not text me because it'll pop up on my, whatchamacallit. Oh my God. Okay.
The more she acts like this, the more I believe that this is just an act. Like, this is her trying to play out what she perceives a BPD meltdown to look like. Like, this is not genuine in the slightest.
This part is fucking crazy. Okay, so this is original photo, okay? And remember, there's gouges and blood, okay? Remember that part. Open viewer. Okay. I don't want you guys to see anything private, so let's try not to do that. This is her arm. This is her arm. Okay? Keep in mind she's wearing a maroon shirt. Okay? She is wearing a completely different shirt. You're going to see it. It's like a black type of deal. And she creates these marks. Okay. Completely different day. What the hell? Why isn't it zooming? What the fuck is going on? Ugh! Why is it blurry?
Yeah, Amber, that proves literally nothing. Like, nothing. We can't even see jack shit. Like, where is the evidence in that? Like, you hyped up, screaming, jumping, dancing, acting like a complete utter twat over something we can't even see.
And right here it says, am I just imagining the gauges? Am I just imagining that? Am I just imagining that? Am I just imagining that? Yes, you are imagining that. Are you imagining the gauges out of your arm? The blood? Yes, you are. You are.
Alright, so the photo that was supposedly taken on the day didn't show any blood or gouges, so we can say that Emily was probably over-exaggerating. That being said, Amber, we can't say that she also faked nail marks days later, because sometimes bruises do take a while to show up. So you can't really say that she did it without proof. And no, you showing a blurry, tiny photo isn't proof.
Familiar? After work, I didn't want to go back home. I was exhausted, drained, and I didn't want to deal with her crap all over again. She had been blowing up my phone all day trying to apologize and see if I would change my mind about having her go back home. After work, I went for a walk to decompress. She was not happy about that, but she was blowing up my phone asking me to come home. It was about 2 hours after my shift that I got a text from her saying that she couldn't find Rarity. She said that she hadn't seen her all day and that she was just telling me this now. At this point, I came home right away. I figured that she was just somewhere in the house and she was going to just saying that to try to get me to come home. But after I searched the entire house while Amber watched, she wasn't anywhere to be found. At that point, I moved the searched outside. I was exhausted, but searched all hours of the night looking for her. I really thought I would find her that night, but it was no luck. At that point, I made posters and hung them up all around town to local businesses, posted on social media, and lost cat pages. Amberlynn's one job was to call the shelter and make a report. She's such a fucking liar. Holy fuck. But when I called the shelter after they found a cat that was deceased, the kind of matched Rarity's description, it ended up not being her. The shelter told me no formal report was ever filed. The only info they had on the report was from the lost pet database that I submitted. I literally have a voicemail. I don't know if I deleted it because I delete my voicemails. Like saying the opposite of what she's saying here. Oh my God, the angle's crazy. Sorry. Where am I? I spent hours upon hours driving around looking for her, walking through fields and in between houses around my house and through the snow. Amberlynn would go on the drives with me, but obviously didn't do the walking around part. When it was snowing, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I can't walk in snow. I wear flats. I have lymphedema. But when it wasn't snowing, I was looking just as much as you. Am I going slower? Do I go as far? Am I going slower? Yes. Do I go as far? No. Obviously, I'm over 500 fucking pounds, bro. I did the best I could. But one thing that I never stopped doing was looking for her.
You know what could have avoided this entire situation is if you didn't chase Emily around the house, if you didn't chase her out of the house, if you didn't take 20 minutes to find the door unlocked and opened, if you didn't take hours to contact Emily after looking for Rarity. Like, how did it take so long for you to notice that Rarity was missing? And why did it take you so long to contact Emily? Because I'm willing to bet if we check the messages that Emily has, that you were messaging her between that. Before even looking for Rarity, you were probably contacting her, asking her to come home, which means you probably was sitting around doing nothing while Rarity was missing.
And then one time I'm literally bawling my eyes out in the truck while we were looking for Rarity one time. And she literally said, if you don't shut up, it makes me want to fucking punch your teeth down your throat, is what she said to me. That's what she said to me. That's the type of shit that I had to deal with. Did she ever punch teeth down my throat? No. But hearing those words, I almost feel like hurts just as bad. That's the type of shit that I had to deal with.
No, the threat and the physical act are not the same thing. One is far worse than the other, Amber. And it's funny that you get to justify your bad behavior by reactive abuse, but Emily is such a horrible person for threatening you. And she is. Like, threatening your partner with physical violence is such a fucking shitty thing to do. But it's weird that we have to, oh, you poor thing, Amber, you were just pushed to your limits. That's why you act the way you did. But with Emily, it's, oh my god, how could she act like this? When, in reality, you're both just incredibly toxic people.
Okay, let's see the next screenshot. I'm trying so hard to go fast. I'd get so pissed when we were driving because she would have her head buried in her phone playing a stupid Farmville type game instead of looking out the damn window to find her cat. That's a fucking lie, because up and down those streets I would yell, Rarity, you're a fucking liar.
With situations like this, I do want to reserve judgment because I don't know who is telling the truth. And there is a massive difference between me making an idle joke about Amber using her work against an argument with someone who has a 9 to 5 in comparison to, you know, a cat getting out and potentially no longer being alive and Amber not giving two shits. Because could I see Amber just sitting on her phone while Emily is looking for the cat? Yeah, I could see that, but that doesn't mean it's true. And I can't say for sure without evidence. So unless, you know, Emily is going to show us the dash cam footage of Amber sitting on her phone while looking for the cat, then I can't really say for sure either one is telling the truth. And I have seen a couple people automatically jump to the conclusion that that's what Amber would do, and I don't know if I can believe that. Like, it's just hard to believe something when you see that both of them are lying.
Oh, Snowflake says, I don't know if you're like Amber and keep old messages, but do you have any messages from Amber about Rarity going missing? Because I need the clout. I need the money. Because I quit my job to do this, and I'm divorced.
You know, Amber, you're really going hard on him getting a divorce. Like, it's kind of ironic considering the fact that you're always the victim but never the bride. Like, you can talk shit about him getting a divorce, but at least he got married in the first place. Where are you at?
Yeah, I do. I have the message of her initial reporting when she was missing, which is timestamped. It shows that her story that she posted on her vlogs about her being missing at 5 a.m. was not correct. I don't know what she's talking about.
I don't understand. I don't know what you're talking about. Always the convenient excuse with you, Amber.
So then she sends screenshots of me telling her that that Rarity was missing, and now let me explain the timeline. So our huge fucking argument happened wee in the morning. I mean, I'm telling you, it was like 5 a.m., 4 a.m., like around that time, I would say. And Emily has a massive house, and a lot of the cats, like her cat Daniel, Princess, Wasabi, Rarity, they all like to be in the basement. That's where they went to the bathroom. They would eat down there. They would play down there. They would just hang out down there. That's where they like to chill. They had free roam of the whole place. But that is where they were a lot of the time. And also her cat Wig. So that's like the place where they like to go. So normal pattern of the day is a lot of the time, like, you didn't see a cat. You didn't see a cat because they were all hanging out doing their damn thing at the basement. That's just what they did, because they had like a cute little cat door for the basement. It was actually really adorable. And, you know, it was a normal pattern. You know, I wouldn't really see Rarity throughout the day. It would be later at night. She would pop out, you know, follow me around, eat food from the kitchen, get some water from the kitchen, whatever it may be. And I noticed that normally the time when I would see her, I didn't see her. I was like, that's weird. Like, throughout the day, I'm thinking, okay, like, she's probably in the basement. It was just normal, everyday life. Nothing seemed off. And then it was like around the time where, like, you know, the cats start to come out. They're like coming up to the living room or the bedroom, starting to just venture out a little bit more. I was like, it's weird. I've seen most of the cats today, but I haven't seen Rarity. And that's when I was like, what the heck? So I went down to the basement and I didn't see her. And I was like, this is confusing. I'm calling her name. I'm going to floor number 1, floor number 2, floor number 3, floor number 4. And I'm like, why isn't she coming out? I mean, if I say Rarity one time, she comes to me. Like, that, she was glued to my hip. But since she had such free roam of such a huge house, she took her favorite spot and she loved to be there. That was the basement. So when I noticed okay, she's not coming to me. Like, I'm shaking treats. She's not coming to me. Something is not right. That is when I messaged Emily, because the pattern was then broke. That's when I was like, what is going on? So the fact that like Emily is like turning this into, I don't know if she like let her out on purpose, when you know you let her out because you left the fucking door open, is sick. Sick.
Which just proves everyone right. You knew the door was open for X amount of time, you closed it, but didn't bother going to check on your animals? Like, any of your animals could have gotten out, and you didn't bother seeing if they're there beforehand. You waited hours before you went and checked on them. And then you have the audacity to claim that they're the most important thing in your life.
Where's the next messages? Snowflake says, well, that doesn't look good. In his head, he's like, that looks great. That looks amazing. Like, that looks so fucking good. He's probably thinking in his head, I'm gonna get that money. And then he said, she made a couple videos crying about Rarity. Were you off screen watching this, and what did you think? Because her acting is shit. I've always thought, I didn't buy she was genuinely sad. I wish I still had the original fucking videos. Me editing out my actual breakdowns missing Rarity. And oh my God, Emily, your response, I swear to God, I have kept my mouth shut about so many things, and I'm not trying to be threatening, but if your response does not show how much I fucking loved Rarity and how heartbroken I was that she was missing, I was literally tormented every single day, then I know you're a fucking shit person, the shittiest person I've ever known in my fucking life. Let's see your response. I was home for a few of them that she filmed. It was always after a fight between her and I. I think she wanted to take advantage of the tears and the crying and put it on camera. You're insane. I have never experienced someone like you in my life. And in this moment, I wish more than anything I could talk to your ex, Megan. Megan, if you are watching this, or if someone knows Megan, have her talk to me. I would do anything to talk to you. Because at this point, I don't know. I would do anything just to speak to you personally. I will never share anything, but I need someone who understands, because this is fucking crazy.
That was such a quick change. Like, Amber started realizing that she was on the losing side of this argument, so she had to immediately pull out the ex. Oh yeah, well, I'm going to bring up your ex. Let's see where it goes then.
Do you guys want to hear a story? The first time it snowed in Wisconsin. Normally you think it would be so cute and so sweet. We'd be out there like throwing snowball fights at each other. It would be so cute. We'd come inside and we would like have a cuddly little date night with the blinds open, and we'd watch like some Netflix movie. We'd have some popcorn. She'd probably want me to eat like cheeseburgers and like a bunch of chicken nuggets and stuff from McDonald's. But anyways, that's besides the point. It would just be so cute and so sweet. But no, do you want to know what happened? Do you want to know what happened the first time it snowed? I had a full-fledged panic attack. Why? Because all I could do is think about Rarity. You want to know what her response was? Nothing. She sat on her phone and scrolled. So you know what I did? I turned over in bed and I started crying. I was crying. After my panic attack, I was like, holy fuck, this bitch hates me. I was like, genuinely, she hates me. So I rolled over and I was like, normally I would have been like, why aren't you comforting me? Like, what is actually happening? I rolled over and guess what happened? Full-fledged fight. Because you know what she said to me? Are you crying again? That's what I dealt with.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if I was in a relationship with Amber, like, God fucking forbid, I would just have the exact same reaction. Like, oh my God, you're fucking crying again?
Yeah, I am crying. Because my cat could be in the snow, could be in the cold, could be dying. That's why I'm fucking crying. That's why I had an anxiety attack. And who was there to comfort me? Nobody. Even though you were 1 centimeter away from me.
Yeah, and you were always a couple steps behind her. That's why she ran out the door and you didn't bother checking it. That's why your cat was out.
I definitely feel like she was a huge distraction from the big fight that ever happened. It seemed to blow over fast, and it should have. I wanted to keep it civil while she was here while we were looking for the cat. And by the way, Snowflake, sorry, I have the thought of hygiene. And I'm unhinged as fuck right now. You asked Emily about my hygiene. She ate my pussy and she ate my pussy good. And she loved every fucking second of it. So ask her again about my hygiene. Ask her again. Ask her again.
And now I'm traumatized.
She couldn't keep her normal behavior for too long before her true self came out again. That's you. And we started arguing all the time. I finally got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore and told her she's going back home. I drove her back home to Oklahoma myself instead of waiting for her mom to come do it. I don't know if why she was so insistent on making it seem like it was her decision, because it was. I drove 19 hours straight though and flew home the next day. It took that long because of all the stops she had to take. That was the longest drive of my life, figuratively and literally. Interesting. Within the first hour of the drive, she was screaming at me so much that Twinkie freaked out and jumped under my feet of the driver's side floor. That didn't happen. I was driving on the highway and I had to pull over because she won't come out. What the fuck? That never happened. I don't even remember what she was mad at me about. We argued. We did argue. We absolutely did, because you were rude to me the whole morning. Awful. Like I said, she would wake up and rage out of nowhere. Out of genuinely nowhere. I think it was a comment over me getting to choose the music on the radio since I was driving that long and she wanted to choose to listen to. Had nothing to do with music. We had a literal playlist on Spotify that had both of our music combined. What are you talking about?
Amber's trying to play this off, but this is something that multiple people have said about Amber. Casey, Beck, Destiny, I believe even Wifey at one point was talking about Amber's music taste and how Amber always has to have music playing. Same thing with, I'm pretty sure, On the Way to Wisconsin. Like, Amber was making her stepdad and mom listen to, like, Sabrina Carpenter and Billie Eilish on the way there. So, like, I would not be surprised if Amber is the type of person who has to have their own music, even when they're not driving, and if they don't get it, they're gonna be pouty as fuck. Now, is that cause of the argument? Maybe it's part of it, I don't know, but I could definitely see Amber yelling in the car and that causing Twinkie to get scared and jumping in between Emily's legs to try and get into like a secure location where she feels safe. Now, that is something that I could see happening. Is it true? I don't know. I just believe that would be something that potentially could happen, which is incredibly dangerous on a highway. Like, just wow.
Anytime I see that dog on camera, they look terrified. Twinkie is a Chihuahua. Chihuahuas are the most anxiety-ridden dogs that there is. I think she's laying in bed. Usually she's right here. Twinkie loves me and she is not afraid of me. But Chihuahuas are the most anxiety dogs there is. When I first got Twinkie, she would puke in the car. She would shake in the car. She would shake constant ad nauseum, no matter what was happening around her. She would shake near a broom. She would shake near a vacuum. She would shake when someone walked up behind her. And guess what she does not do anymore and hasn't done for years? Any of those things. She loves her mama and I love her too. Snowflake, shut the fuck up.
Okay, but love doesn't stop fear, Amber. If you're gonna yell and scream and act in an exaggerated manner, that's gonna scare your animals, like regardless of how much they love you. That being said, I did watch the rest of the stream, nothing all that interesting, just Amber being Amber. We're gonna be ending the stream here, so thank you for watching, I hope you guys enjoy, and hopefully get to see you guys for the next 5 or so live streams. See you then.